Welcome back friends and welcome to the new video lesson on bank promotion study. In this video lesson we are going to learn about Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 and it is going to be part 1 of Negotiable Instruments 1881. Part 2 will also be there. So let us start the lesson. So regarding the provisions related to negotiable instruments are given in Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 as the name suggests, and this particular act is applicable to whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir. So entire India this particular act is applicable. The act came into force with effect from 1st March 1882. The latest amendment was in December 2002. Total number of sections in NI Act are 148. What is a negotiable instrument? So as per section 13 of Negotiable Instrument Act, the negotiable instrument means and include promissory note, PN, bill of exchange, BOE and check. Negotiable instruments as per NI Act are promissory note, bill of exchange, check and now demand draft is also included in this. Negotiable instrument as per section 137 of Transfer of Property Act. So as per Transfer of Property Act, document of title to goods such as railway receipt, bill of lading and warehouse receipt are also negotiable instruments. But these are as per section 137 of Transfer of Property Act. Negotiable instrument as per practice and usage are treasury bills, certificate of deposit, commercial paper and government promissory notes. Features of negotiable instrument. So the features are it is freely transferable and title of the transferee will be better than the transferor if the transferee took the instrument for value and in good faith under circumstances when he did not have suspicion about any defect in the title of a transferor. Such a transferee is called holder in due course and it is defined in section 9 of Negotiable Instrument Act. So section 9 of Negotiable Instrument Act deals with holder in due course. So mostly the questions are asked from the sections only. Promissory note. Promissory note is defined in section 4 of Negotiable Instrument Act. It is an instrument in writing, not being a banknote or a currency note, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or the bearer of the instrument. There are two parties in a promissory note, promisor and promisee or maker or payee. So in promissory note, there are two parties. Currency notes and bank notes are not promissory notes as per section 4. Promissory note may be payable on demand, that is demand promissory note, or payable after some time, which is called the usance promissory note. Bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is defined in section 5 of Negotiable Instrument Act. So section 4 deals with promissory note and section 5 deals with bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. In a bill of exchange, the person ordering for payment is called the drawer and the person directed to pay is called the drawee. The beneficiary is called the payee. Check. Check is defined in section 6. So section 4, 5 and 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act deals with promissory note, bill of exchange and check. So in promissory note there are two parties, whereas in bill of exchange there are three parties, drawer, drawee and the payee. So a check is a bill of exchange but always payable on demand and drawee is always a banker. Here drawee is always a banker. Thus a check is similar to a bill of exchange. Further, any bill which is payable on demand and in which drawee is banker will be called the check. The definition includes check in electronic form and the truncated checks. Demand and usance promissory note or bill of exchange. The promissory note or bill of exchange can be, this should be BILL, not WILL, BILL. Bill of exchange can be payable on demand or after some time. Usance promissory note or usance POE. The BOE, that is bill of exchange. If time is mentioned, then the same will be treated as demand promissory note or demand bill of exchange. If these are payable after some time, it is called as usance promissory note or usance bill of exchange. Bearer and order. A negotiable instrument can be payable to bearer or order. If neither bearer nor order is written, it is treated as payable to order. If nothing is written, it is treated payable to order. If both bearer or order are written, then it is treated as payable to bearer. On demand bearer instrument. As per section 31 of RBI Act, no person other than central government or Reserve Bank of India or any other person authorized in his behalf can issue bearer promissory notes and a demand bill of exchange payable to bearer. Presumption of negotiable instrument. As per section 118 of Negotiable Instruments Act, negotiable instrument is presumed to be made for consideration, executed on the date appearing on the instrument, and every holder is a holder in due course. Inchoate instrument. Inchoate instrument is defined in section 20 of Negotiable Instruments Act. It is an instrument on which date, payee or amount is not mentioned. Inchoate means incomplete. So either the date, payee or amount is not mentioned. It can be completed by the holder and the completion will not be treated as material alteration. An instrument without signatures is also treated as an instrument at all. Is not treated as an instrument at all. So any instrument without signature will not be considered as an instrument. Ambiguous instrument. It is defined in section 17 of Negotiable Instruments Act. An instrument which can be treated as a bill of exchange or promissory note is called an ambiguous instrument. Holder can treat it as bill of exchange also and as a promissory note also as per the discretion. So if it has both the qualities of a promissory note and bill of exchange, then it would be ambiguous instrument. Holder is defined in section 8 of the Negotiable Instruments Act. Holder of a promissory note, bill of exchange or check means any person entitled in his own name to the possession thereof and to receive the amount due thereon from parties thereto. Holder in due course is defined in section 9. So holder in section 8, holder in due course in section 9. Holder in due course is a person who became possessor of a negotiable instrument for valuable consideration in good faith before becoming due and without having any reason to believe that the person transferring the instrument was entitled thereto. Transfer of a negotiable instrument and endorsement. Transfer of a negotiable instrument. So how the transfer of a negotiable instrument can take place? By assignment or by negotiation. By assignment is under Transfer of Property Act or by negotiation. Negotiation means transferring an instrument from one person to another to constitute the transferee. Negotiation of a bearer instrument. A bearer instrument is negotiated by mere delivery and no endorsement is required. Negotiation of an order instrument. An order instrument can be negotiated by endorsement followed by delivery. It may be noted that legal heirs cannot complete the negotiation of a negotiable instrument with endorsement by the deceased merely by delivery. Title of transferee. The transferee gets better title if instrument is taken for consideration in good faith. Endorsement. Endorsement means signing of an instrument on the back or the face thereof or on a slip of paper annexed thereto for the purpose of negotiation. This process is called endorsement as per section 15. The person who transfers the instrument is called the endorser and the person to whom it is transferred, it is called endorsee. So endorser and endorsee. Who can endorse? Drawer, holder, payee can endorse. So drawer of a check, holder of a check or payee can endorse the check. Liability of the endorser. Under Section 35 of Negotiable Instrument Act, liability of an endorser is similar to the principal debtor. Blank endorsement. In a blank endorsement, the endorser just signs his name without indicating endorsee. It can be converted into full by writing name of a person above signatures. The effect of an endorsement in blank is that it makes an instrument drawn originally payable to or order to bearer instrument for the purpose of negotiation, which can be further negotiated by mere delivery. Endorsement in full. When the endorser indicates the name of the endorsee, it is called full endorsement. Sans recourse endorsement. An endorsement in which endorser excludes his liability is termed as sans recourse or without recourse endorsement. In case of dishonor of instrument, the amount cannot be recovered from such endorser. Facultative endorsement. An endorsement in which endorser waives the notice of dishonor is called facultative endorsement, but this is not applicable to other parties to the instrument. Restrictive endorsement. An endorsement which restricts further right of negotiation is called as restrictive endorsement. For example, if it is written in the endorsement as pay to hurry for my use, it is restrictive endorsement. Conditional endorsement. When along with endorsement, condition is imposed by endorser. For example, pay to C on completion of studies, paying bank not to ensure compliance of condition binds endorser and endorsee only. Back-to-back endorsement. An endorsement which the endorser himself becomes endorsee is called as back-to-back endorsement, and in such a case the endorsee can recover the amount only from parties prior to his own endorsement. Negotiation back. When the drawer of a check himself becomes endorsee, it is called negotiation back and this check is treated as satisfied. Partial endorsement. The endorsement can be made only for full amount, but in case part payment has been received and a note to that effect is made on the instrument, then the same can be endorsed for the balanced amount. Forged endorsement. When endorsement is made by a person other than holder by forging signatures of the holder. The title does not pass to any person on the basis of such endorsement. A person getting instrument after such endorsement does not become the holder. So these are the different definitions or types of endorsement, and questions can be asked from this. Then payment of check. Protection to a paying banker. A paying banker gets protection under section 85 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. So this question has been asked so many times. In case of order checks, protection is available under section 85(1), and for bearer checks it is available under 85(2) of Negotiable Instrument Act. In the case of draft, it is available under section 85A. As per section 85(1) of the Act, a paying banker is discharged by payment in due course of a check payable to order and which purports to be endorsed by or on behalf of payee. It means paying banker is concerned about regularity of endorsement and not its genuineness or forgery. As per section 85(2) of the Negotiable Instrument Act. So this is not 852, it is 85(2) bracket 2 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. A bank will be discharged of its liability by making payment in due course of a check payable to bearer if the payment is made in due course notwithstanding any endorsement. If the check is endorsed, the bank is not required to take note of any such endorsement. Thus, as per section 85(2), once a bearer is always a bearer. So section 85(2) means once a bearer of the check is always a bearer. Payment in due course is defined in section 10 of the Act. This is payment in due course is defined in section 10 and means payment is in accordance with the apparent tenor of the instrument. in good faith and without negligence to any person in possession thereof under circumstances which do not afford a reasonable ground for believing that the person is not entitled to receive payment of the amounts mentioned therein. Payment of a check. While making payment of a check, bank is required to take certain precautions. Form of the check has not been given in any act. So what should be the form of a check? It is not given in any act. It is simply as per practice. The kind of check we see today, it is as per practice. But RBI has prescribed format as per new check standard CTS 2010. All banks providing check facility to their customer will issue only CTS 2010 standard checks across the country. So by December 31, 2012. So right now it is going on. Different take. So if a check is drawn in different ink, handwriting or different script, thus a check presented with different ink, handwriting or script, it can be paid. Language. The check should be written in Hindi, English or regional language. Bank is within its power to return a check written in language other than the language of that region. Signature on back. When a check is presented for payment, signatures of the presenter are taken on the back as a witness of payment. If the presenter refuses to sign, the bank can take receipt on a separate paper to return a check. And dated check. So check dated prior to its date of presentation is called and dated and can be paid within 3 months from the date of issue. Post-dated check means a check which is dated subsequently to the date of presentation. Both and dated and post-dated checks are valid in law. A post-dated check can be passed only on the date written on it or within 3 months thereafter. Stale check. RBI has reduced the period within which check, draft, pay orders, banker checks are presented for payment from 6 months to 3 months and with effect from April 2012. It has been done because these instruments are being circulated in the market like cash for 6 months. The drawer may further reduce validity and can revalidate the check any number of times. So here the drawer can also reduce the validity of the check. Impossible date. A check with impossible date like 31 November 20 should be paid on the last day of the month or within 3 months of the last day of the month. Check dated prior to opening of account. A check which is dated prior to date of account opening the account or issue of checkbook can be paid if otherwise it is in order. Check bearing a date as per national calendar, that is Sak Samvat. If check written in Hindi and bearing a date in Hindi is a valid instrument, banks should accept checks bearing a date as per national calendar for payment. If otherwise found in order, banks should ascertain the Gregorian calendar date corresponding to the national Sak calendar in order to avoid payment of stale check. Amount. So with respect to the amount should be written in both words and figures. Amount in words is called legal amount and amount written in figures is called the courtesy amount. So legal amount is written in words. As per section 18 of the Negotiable Instruments Act, if the amount written in words and figure differ, the amount written in words will be the amount intended to be payable. If the balance in the account is just equal to the amount of the check will be paid. If the balance in the account is insufficient to pay the check, it should not be paid relying on the balance in some other account or transferring the amount from other account unless there is an arrangement to that effect. If bank makes payment without sufficient balance in the account on which check has been drawn by relying on balance in some other account and customer contests the payment of check, bank may not be able to exercise the right of set-off. If number of checks are presented at the same time and the balance is not sufficient to pay all the checks, then normally priority is given to checks favoring revenue authorities, then to check favoring public authorities. If balance is left, maximum number of checks should be passed taking care that check of very small amount is not dishonored. Banking hours. As per section 65 of the Act, presentment for payment of a check must be made within banking hours. If a check presented after banking hours is paid, it will not be a payment in due course. However, the payment of a reasonable amount can be made to drawer even after banking hours. Further, the presentment should be within banking hours. Actual payment may be even after banking hours. Mutilation. If there is any mutilation of check, it should be confirmed by drawer. Material alteration. Any change in date, amount or name of payee is called material alteration. The change from order to bearer or cancellation of crossing or converting special crossing to general crossing is also a material alteration. So like these questions are asked, options are given that which of the following is a material alteration. So like these questions can be asked from this. However, bearer to order crossing a check or converting general to special crossing is or completing an incomplete check is not a material alteration. If there is any material alteration on a check, it can be paid only after confirmation from drawer. In the case of joint account with either a survivor clause, any of the account holder can confirm material alteration. The confirmation should be under full signature as per specimen signature, with effect from 1st December 2010. In case of clearing houses where image-based check truncation has started, checks with material alteration will not be acceptable even if the same has been authenticated. So in case of clearing, CTS clearing, this check with material alteration are not acceptable. This rule does not apply to change in date. So in the date, change can be there, otherwise everything should be proper. Under section 89 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So under section 89 of negotiable, paying banker gets protection in case of payment of materially altered checks if the alteration is not apparent at the time of payment and payment has been made in due course. So material alteration of check, this is an important topic. Payee. So pay, if the payee is fictitious person, then the check can be paid to bearer if it is payable to bearer. But if the check is payable to order, it can be paid only to the drawer. Bearer or order. If a check is payable to bearer or order, it can be payable to the bearer. However, if neither bearer nor order is written, it is payable to order. Forged signature. If there is a forgery in the signature, such an instrument is null and void. Paying banker will not get protection if it pays such a check, even though the drawer might have been careless in custody of the checkbook, or bank might have sent a statement of account and the customer did not point out the mistake. However, if the check has been signed by the drawer himself but in a different fashion, the banker will not be liable. So thank you so much. This is regarding part 1 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. Other features of the sections we will see in the second part. Till then, all the best.